Welcome back everybody to the movie 1v1 series. Today is going to be another banger with the old generation versus the new generation, where we have Matt Reeves' The Batman versus Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is considered one of the greatest movies of all time, being number 3 on IMDb and a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Batman is considered one of the best movies of the 2020s and the best DC movie of this decade. 7 points for today's video are going to be introduction, conclusion, protagonist, antagonist, plot, best scene, and comic accuracy. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first point is going to be for introduction. And this is already just super hard. We have the Joker's bank heist versus the introduction of Gotham City. I think for me, very slightly, the Batman is going to take this point. I just love how we see the super dark atmosphere with Batman narrating over it, and it immediately just sucks the audience into this world. I love how it also set up the entire movie's premise, where Batman lives in a super grounded, corrupt city where there's just always crime, everyone's always in danger. And Batman's entrance, oh, chef's kiss, it's just perfect. Don't get me wrong though, the Joker's bank heist is awesome, but I think it's just a little less creative for what they could have done, and Joker only really comes in at the end. So just for me, I slightly prefer the Batman here. The second point is going to be on the opposite end for conclusion, and I have to just give this one to The Dark Knight. It's like literally the perfect ending. I don't really have any more to say. We just see Batman ride off on his Batcycle after defeating Harvey, while Gordon says the iconic ending line, and he includes a title drop in there. The Batman ending is great. I just think it's a little bit more, I don't know how to say it, underwhelming, I guess, because it's a superhero ending, which is not at all a bad thing, but it's just ending Batman saving the people and he's narrating over it. But it's still just awesome. The third point here is going to be for protagonist, and I gotta give this one to the Batman. I think Christian Bale's performance as Batman, it's legendary, and it's really iconic too. But right now at this moment, Pattinson is my favorite Batman. I think his accuracy is just perfectly on point. I think it makes so much more sense in this world. Like, Bruce Wayne barely even exists in this movie. I mean, we barely see him. He's kind of just a mask, which is literally perfect. I also think that Robert Pattinson's acting in this movie is like really good. He did an amazing job. And I absolutely was not expecting that Robert Pattinson, like Cedric Diggory, is going to be Batman and he's going to be this good. So yeah, Batman takes this. The fourth point in this 1v1 is going to be for the antagonist. And in this category, we all know Dark Knight absolutely wipes the Batman. The Riddler is a great villain, and I like the direction that Paul Dano took it, where he's like a serial killer. But this universe is so grounded, and I think the Riddler was just missing that comic booky element, because the Riddler is probably the most like comic book out of all of Batman's villains. And I think serial killer here worked, but wasn't the best way to do it. But there's also the fact that, you know, Dark Knight has one of the greatest antagonists of all time with the Joker, where he's terrifying, he's super dangerous, and he's like really comic booky all at the same time. He's like this perfect, just balanced villain. And it doesn't hurt that, you know, Heath Ledger gives one of the greatest acting performances literally that anyone's ever seen in their entire life. So yeah, Dark Knight easily clears. I think another great plus to this is we have Aaron Eckhart's Harvey Dent, which is, again, amazing. Like, this is a great comic accurate Two-Face. And I love how this movie treated him with the Long Halloween arc of Harvey Dent, where at the beginning, everyone is believing in the district attorney, and in the end, he's the Two-Face. And that's just so good. It's an amazing arc. So antagonist absolutely goes to Dark Knight here. The fifth point here is going to be for plot. And this is very close, but I think that the Batman takes it slightly. I think shaping the whole story with these multiple plot lines that are all at the same time tying together to find the serial killer, with Batman also going super deep into Gotham's corruption. He's figuring out all these things about his father, and he's also like tracking these murders. It's just great cohesive story, and it's a little bit better than Dark Knight. Dark Knight is a great story, but I think it was a little too simple here. It's a very superhero movie, and that's good, but it's very basic. The villain is coming in, and the hero has to stop him. That's the premise. But I think the story is elevated with the arc of Harvey becoming Two-Face at the end, but it's still just not as good as the Batman. The second to last point is going to be for best scene, and I think that The Dark Knight takes this one. I think that the best scene in The Dark Knight is absolutely the interrogation scene. It already starts out insane. Gordon is coming in to interrogate Joker. He doesn't say anything. It's just complete darkness, and then the lights turn on, and Batman's just there, right behind him. And he just goes crazy. He starts beating him up and everything. But what I love here is not at all about Batman. It's just how purely amazing Heath Ledger is in this scene. He just is insane in his performance. He spits out so many iconic lines. He just steals the show here. The whole scene is like this psychological war between Batman and Joker. It's just amazing. I think that my issue with the Batman here is that I can't think of a best scene. The whole movie is incredibly consistent and it's super good the whole time. But there's just not one scene I can think here that I can pick out in particular that's better than the rest. If I had to pick one, I would maybe say that the chase between Batman and Penguin, because action is great, cinematography is great, but there's no single scene in the Batman that's just so elevated that I can say it's the best scene. So overall, Dark Knight wins this. Finally here, we're tied up 3-3. This is the game point. And it's going to be, for a very important one where we're talking about superhero movies or comic book movies, comic accuracy. And I think that very, very, very closely, the Batman is going to take this one. It's so accurate how Gotham is portrayed here. And I love seeing all the crime, corruption, and fear that Batman has to face throughout this movie. Batman here is just a standout, because I think that Matt Reeves' characterization just nailed him. He's more Batman than Bruce Wayne, which is, I think, how it should be. Now, even the side characters we have, like there's Catwoman, Gordon, Alfred, they're great. Now, I already talked about the Dark Knight being super accurate, like in Harvey Dent with the Long Halloween storyline, and I think that's a very strong plus for Dark Knight. It's super comic accurate with the characters. Like Gordon is accurate, Alfred is super accurate, Harvey and Joker are great, but I think that the rest of the world here just is a little bit less. I feel like Gotham here just feels more like a city than specifically Gotham. Like, you could say that's New York and I would kind of still see it. And I think it just weighs it down a little bit for me. I think how we see Gotham as it is in the comics. You see, we even throw like Carmine Falcone in here, all these different mob families. That's also in Long Halloween. And I think all that just is a little bit more elevating to make it accurate. So I'm giving a point to the Batman here. So overall, this was a very close match. But in the end, how I look at these two is a bit different. I think at the end of the day, the Batman is a better Batman movie. It's my personal favorite one. But from the perspective of a better movie, I think that The Dark Knight is a little better if you want to look at it that way. But today, my winner is going to be the Batman with a close score of 4-3. That's all for today, though. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Like and subscribe if you want to. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.